Safari nani ya mbali.
Ukianza kunimisiwana.
Kilimo sam kidogo.
Never stage, another song I play. Every fan that will scream my name. I will always be with you in my heart. I will miss you forever. My days are long.
Kweli mina kupenda.
My nights so cold.
Kweli mina kupenda.
I miss your touch, baby. I miss your love. I'm coming home.
Popote ulipo mama.
Popote ulipo, nakuwaza mama. Popote ulipo, baby, you are my only need. Nabii salama, oh yo yo yo. Nakuzola kalamini, bolingo nangai. Popote ulipo, nakuwaza mama. Popote ulipo, baby, you are my only need.
Nena salama.
Oh yo yo yo, salama. Hey, my days are long.
Kweli mina kupenda. My nights are cold. Hamzambo familia, welcome to another great episode of the Saturday Swahili classes. I do hope that you're doing wonderful, and I do hope that you're excited to be with us on this particular platform. My name is Spikes, and on the weekends, all over the weekends, we are able to just connect and just bring you a taste of this beautiful, beautiful language called Swahili, all within the language itself known as Kiswahili. And we do aspire to learn the language. It's very, very simple. It's very, very, I'll just call it sweet. It's very, very simple and sweet. And that is why every other weekend we are here with you, getting to learn this language. I just played us a cover song of an original jam by Sauti Sol. And this particular song, it came out in about 2016, if I'm not mistaken, about 2016. But nonetheless, the jam is still very, very fresh. And it's known as a coming home. And when that is translated into Swahili, we normally do say narudi nyumbani, because coming back, we do say rudi. But if you're talking about home, we do say nyumbani. So if anyone wants to tell you, please come back home, they would actually say tafadhali rudi nyumbani. In our previous classes, we have learned that when you're actually pleading or you're actually asking for something and you just want to be courteous, you would say tafadhali, and that is interpreted to be please. So if anyone wants to say tafadhali, rudi, R-U-D-I, rudi is return, and then they say nyumbani is home, that will be tafadhali rudi nyumbani. You would understand it to be please come back home, or please return home. How is the weekend coming along? Please do let me know. Mine is wonderful. I cannot complain much. It has been a good one, and still being on a Saturday, I do hope that you're having fun, and you are actually also going about your business with utmost positivity, and with that positivity comes a whole lot of productivity. My name is Pikes. Once again, in case you do have a question, please feel free to ask. You can ask anything regarding Swahili. And I don't know if you've interacted with Swahili speakers, and how did Swahili come off? When they were speaking in their Swahili, what was your first thought if you have interacted in Swahili, maybe in the States or maybe wherever you might be at, and this was your very first time interacting with Swahili speakers? Were you impressed? Were they speaking it fluently, or you did not even understand whether that was Swahili? Because what you happen to realize is that on the African continent, we do have more than 1,500 languages on the continent. Yes, 1,500 languages on the African continent. And someone might ask, why are we choosing Swahili over any other language? It is because Swahili is getting prominent, and it is actually getting embraced by so many people around the continent and even outside the continent. that we decided, why not? Because Blackout Fire Network is on a quest or on a mission to unite our people globally. And one of the ways of connecting people is through language. So therefore, if you are able to just connect with people and just speak their language or just adapt this particular language of Swahili, then you would actually be making a step closer to making a wonderful connection and also to reestablishing your roots. That is why we are talking about Swahili being that chosen language. You know, it is spoken in Eastern Africa, it is spoken in Southern Africa, and we also hoping that maybe perhaps this language would also be accepted and embraced in West Africa as well, because in West Africa we have so many languages. For example, in Cameroon, we do have about 100 languages. In Nigeria, about over 100 languages. And therefore, we are hoping that they also find it in their heart to also embrace Swahili, because Swahili is also another language that, would be able to unite our people globally as a Black people. So welcome to class. In case you're joining us for the very first time, we have so many other different classes that you have done in the past. You can always find them on this channel, or you can look for Black Hot Fire Africa. And once you do, you will be able to find so many classes that you've done previously, and you can use those as your point of reference. I want to share with us some of the things that we have learned before, and we have talked about the common. Words, the very, very common words in Swahili, all common words and phrases in Swahili. We have talked about them in previous lessons. And we have learned that if you're talking to someone and you wanted to say hello to them, simply how you do that is by saying hujambo, H-U-J-A-M-B-O. That is simply how you actually say hello to them. You simply say hujambo, And if you wanted to tell them, that I am pleased to meet you, you say nina furaha kukuona. That is how you say nina furaha kukuona. Or you can simply just tell them, I'm happy to see you. You can simply say ninafurahi kukuona. That is saying I'm happy to meet you, or I'm pleased to meet you, all nice to meet you. If at all you're saying how are you, you simply ask habari gani. Or you can ask habari yako, or you can also ask uhali gani. Gani, G-A-N-I, is simply how you ask which, and they want to know what state are you in, or how are you doing, and that is why they would ask and say uhali gani. And if someone is well, they would say salama. For example, in that song I played you did hear someone saying fika salama. That would be arrive safely. So salama means safe, or salama means well. So therefore, if someone was to ask you habari gani, you might respond and say salama, or you might respond and say nzuri, or you might respond and say njema, or you might respond and say salama. Those are the ways in which you can respond. But if at all this is actually not working, things are not working out for you in the day, you might say bad or mbaya. How are you? You might say I'm not doing so well. And the way you say that is simply by saying mbaya. Habari yako, you might say mbaya, which simply means that things are not going so well, and that is why you're saying it's bad. Apart from that, you might say, like I did say earlier, please is for tafadhali. So if someone is saying please come back home, or please return home, they would actually be saying tafadhali rudi nyumbani. If someone wanted to ask, or someone wanted to tell you excuse me, they would simply say samahani. Someone would actually just say samahani, rudia tena. Then you would know that what they are saying is please come again. So that will be samahani, and that will be for excuse. Me. And samahani is not to be confused for salama. Salama, I did say that salama simply means well. Salama simply means well. Salama, it simply means well. It means okay. So if someone was to ask you, habari yako, That is how are you? How are you? That is how are you? How are you? How are you? You would respond and say salama. You would actually respond and say salama. That is one of the ways in which you can respond. You can respond and say salama. You can respond and say salama. Or if someone wants to ask you habari yako, you can say nzuri. You are also very free to say nzuri. And in that way, they understand that you are well. In that way, they understand that you are doing well. If someone wants to ask habari yako, and you're there and you respond nzuri and you respond nzuri, so it is understood that you are actually doing well or that you are actually okay. And that is how you respond. That is how you respond to someone. You would respond nzuri, or you might respond and say salama, or you might respond and say njema. You might respond and say njema as well. So there are many ways in which you can respond to say that you are well. And I have said, number one is you can say salama. Number two is you can respond and say nzuri. Or number three, you can respond and say sawa. You can respond and say sawa. For sawa, sawa simply means well. Sawa simply means well. Sawa simply means well, or it simply means okay. For example, if you're in agreement with someone, if you are in agreement with someone, and they are asking you, is it fine? Is it fine? Is it fine if I borrowed? Is it fine if I borrowed your phone? Is it fine if I borrowed your phone? And you're in acceptance in the affirmative. You might say ndio, which is for okay, ndio, which is for okay, or you might respond and say sawa. You might respond and say sawa. Sawa is S-A-W-A. That is for sawa. So if someone was to ask you, is it fine if I borrowed your phone? Or is it fine if I borrowed your penknife? For example, you are out there camping and you're looking for a penknife. So someone might ask and say, is it okay? Is it okay if I borrowed your penknife? And you would respond and say sawa, S-A-W-A. Sawa is for okay. Sawa is for okay. And even in the context of other culture, you might shake your head like this. And when you shake your head like this, you understand that someone means that they understand what you're saying. But if someone says sawa, it means that they are in agreement with you and they agree to whatever you're saying. They are in agreement with you and therefore they agree to whatever you're saying. That is for someone who says sawa. For someone who says sawa, it means that they are in agreement with you. And that is how it is understood to be. That is how it is understood to be. And if they did say ndio, N-D-I-O, that is for yes. This is for yes. And therefore, if someone asks, je, uko na chakula? Je is simply asking, do you have some food? Je, uko na chakula? Je is J-E, which signals the start of a question. Uko na chakula. Do you have food? Do you have food? Do you have food? And if my answer is in the affirmative, if my answer is positive and I'm talking about yes, I do have some food, then I would say ndio niko na chakula. Ndio niko na chakula. And if I don't have any food, if I do not have any food, I would actually say hapana. I would actually say hapana sina chakula. Hapana sina chakula, which is no, I do not have some food. No, I do not have some food. And therefore, that is how you respond in the affirmative or in the negative. Yes, it's ndio. No, it's hapana. No, it's hapana. So if at all, if you're writing notes, you can just write hapana. Is for the negative, it means no. So if someone was to ask, je, uko na chakula? Je, uko na chakula? Which is, do you have some food? Do you have some food? And the answer is no, I do not have some food. Then that will be hapana sina chakula. Hapana sina chakula. And that is simply how you respond about having food or not having food. If they are to ask you, if you wanted to request for something, I've always said if you wanted to request for something, you simply say give me, which is give me give me, but that is interpreted, give me, but that is interpreted as nipe, N-I-P-E, which is give me, which is give me. So if someone says, give me food, give me some food, give me some food, we'd actually say, nipe chakula. Chakula is food, nipe chakula. That would be, give me, give me, give me, give me food for nipe chakula. And if you want to be really, really courteous in your request, you would say, nipe chakula tafadhali, tafadhali, Tafadhali. That would be please, nipe chakula tafadhali. Give me some food, please. And these are some of those popular words. These are some of those popular words, as you can see them here. These are some of those popular words that you can get to learn, and phrases that you get to learn even as you're exploring this new language of Swahili. If you wanted to ask someone, how are you? You simply say habari, 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 which is how are you? And you can also say niaje. Niaje is an informal way of asking how are you, but you can say niaje. But if you wanted to affirm, respond in the positive, you'd say ndio for yes. If someone, for example, requested you for something and they did ask you, can I borrow a pen? Can I borrow a pen? Maybe you're in a store and you're asking, can I borrow a pen? And you wanted to say yes, you'd say ndio for yes. But if you're talking about a no in the negative, you don't have a pen, you would say hapana. You would say hapana. For things like water, which is very much basic, basic items, you would say maji, maji. So for example, if someone wanted to borrow some water, they would actually say nipe maji, which is give me water, nipe maji, which is give me water, give me water. That would be nipe maji. That would be nipe maji. And it's not even difficult. It's actually very, very simple. So if you're talking about requesting for water, you just wanted to request for water, then you would actually be able to do that simply by saying nipe maji, or give me water, nipe maji, or give me water, nipe maji, or give me water. The same way, if you're asking for food, you would say nipe chakula. You would actually say nipe chakula, and someone would actually give you water. If someone maybe perhaps wanted money, once again they would say nipe pesa, which is give me money. Give me money, which is give me money. So whatever you're actually requesting for, you would say nipe and then put that subject on there. For example, you're asking for a pen. Therefore, you'd actually say nipe kalamu, nipe kalamu. And if you're putting in a request like that, you just want to be courteous, you would actually therefore say nipe kalamu yako. Yako means yours. Yako means yours. Nipe kalamu yako. Give me your pen. Nipe kalamu yako tafadhali. Nipe kalamu yako tafadhali. That is how you would actually just say it. And when it comes to even giving thanks, it comes to you're thankful that something has actually been given to you. So the way you respond, you would actually say asante, asante. If a request has actually been granted, you would actually say asante, and you would also say shukran, shukran. You would also say shukran if someone has requested, has given you something. If someone has given you something, you would actually say asante, or you can emphasize and say asante sana. You can respond and say asante sana. And the S-A-N-A, this is for emphasis. This is for emphasis, which means a lot or very. It means a lot, or it means very. It means very. So if you're talking about someone giving you something, you already put in your request and your request was actually granted, you would therefore respond and say asante sana kaka. For example, if it's a brother, you would actually say Asanti sana kaka, which is for brother, which is for brother. If it's for a sister, if it's for a sister, you would actually say Asanti sana dada, Asanti sana dada. That is simply how you would say it. And it's not even difficult. It's not even difficult. Swahili, the moment you begin to learn Swahili, realize that Swahili is actually very, very simple. But I'm not saying that you underestimate it, underestimate it and underestimate the time needed to learn it or the effort needed to learn it. I am just saying that you can actually still learn it step by step. That is what I'm talking about, step by step. So apart from that, we also do have another phrase, which is karibu, karibu. And I have taught us this many times that if you're welcoming someone to your house, or if you're welcoming someone to class, or if you're welcoming someone for lunch, or you're welcoming them for whatever reason you're welcoming them for, you would say karibu. And if you want to emphasize, you would say karibu sana. You would actually say karibu sana. That is how you would actually emphasize and say karibu sana. If you're wishing or you're bidding someone goodbye, you do say kwaheri, kwaheri, kwaheri. But if you're asking someone to come again and to excuse you, you would simply say samahani. Maybe perhaps you're standing on your way and maybe perhaps you want to get past them. You just want to get past them. You would therefore say samahani dada, which is excuse me sister, or you can say samahani kaka for excuse me brother. You would actually say samahani kaka for excuse me brother. But if you're talking about maybe perhaps giving thanks, once again, you would say asanti sana kaka, which is thank you so much, asanti sana kaka, which is for thanks a lot brother, thanks a lot brother, thanks a lot brother. That is simply how you would put it. Asanti sana kaka. Asanti sana kaka. That is simply how you put it. But if you're talking about a Martha, you're saying thank you to a Martha, you would say Asanti sana mama. Asanti sana mama. Or you can add the word I appreciate, or you can add the word nashukuru. Nashukuru simply means I appreciate. Ninashukuru, it simply means I appreciate. And therefore, that is a way to maybe perhaps give thanks. When the language, the Swahili language is actually very, very polite and people are very, very courteous. And therefore, someone might say, Asanti sana, kaka, thank you so much, brother. Ninashukuru, which is I appreciate. And it's not even difficult. It's very, very easy. When it comes to maybe perhaps some other forms of greetings or some other forms of just getting to express yourself, you might say that nina furaha, which means I am very happy, and I'm very happy. Nina furaha kukuona siku ya leo. I am very happy to see you today. Siku simply means a day. Siku simply means a day. Siku simply means a day. And you might say siku ya leo, today. Siku ya leo. But if you're talking about tomorrow, you would say kesho, which is tomorrow. For example, someone might say nitarudi kesho, which is I will return tomorrow. Which is nitarudi kesho. So if you're talking about the day after today, you simply say kesho. But if you're talking about yesterday, you simply say jana. That is for yesterday. So for example, if someone says nilinunua chakula jana, that would be I bought some food yesterday. You would say nilinunua chakula kidogo jana. That would be I bought some little food yesterday. That is simply how you put it. It's not difficult. When it comes to learning Swahili, I always do say that try learn it with a friend, so that you are able to just catch up and exercise, just practice, so that you're able to just practice and practice. We shall take a short break. We shall enjoy a song which is known as Najuta. It's a cover for Najuta. It's a Swahili song, because also listening to Swahili music is also another way in which you can be able to enjoy and learn this beautiful language. So let me play it for you, and you let me know what you think about this particular song as well.
Nitamwambiaje eti kuwa mimi nampenda? Nitamwelezaje eti bila yeye naugua? Nitamjulishaje kuwa roho yangu yaumia? Nitamwambiaje kuwa mimi najuta kukosana naye, kutengana naye, kuachana naye. Oh,
Mimi najuta
kukosana naye, kutengana naye, kuachana naye. Oh,
mimi najuta.
Nilitega sikio mtaani, kasikiza za wasengenyaji, eti yeye na yule wanamchumbaji, bila hata kujali au kuuliza maswali. Niliyaamini maneno nikamwaga kwa heri. Miezi ni kadhaa nami nalia, ningemrudia, lakini na tatizo. Nitamwambiaje eti kuwa mimi nampenda? Nitamwelezaje eti bila yeye naugua? Nitamjulishaje kuwa roho yangu yaumia? Nitamwambiaje kuwa mimi najuta kukosana naye, kutengana naye, kuachana naye. Oh, mimi najuta kukosana naye, kutengana naye, kuachana naye. Oh, mimi
Yes, that is a Swahili, a wonderful, wonderful Swahili song, and it's actually a cover. The original song is by Sanaipei Tande. It's known as Najuta. Najuta simply means I regret. This is a phrase which simply means I regret. And, people regret for different reasons. I would actually say sometimes in relationship when they don't work, people end up in regret. But I do hope that your relationships are working. I'm not a relationship expert. But all I do know that Swahili music is beautiful. That is some Swahili R&B, and it hits different. It's very, very wonderful. So welcome back to class. This is the Swahili classes for the weekend on the Black Hot Fire Network. My name is Pikes. And in case you want to get a hold of a copy of some of our notes, you can write to me, blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. And I will be more than glad to send them your way. Black Hot Fire, Hot Fire Africa at gmail.com. You can simply write to me, and I would be more than glad to share with you those particular notes, because we do have some notes that we get to use when we are learning our Swahili class. And we have learned that when it comes to maybe perhaps talking about the days of the week, I have said that today is known as Leo. Leo, we do say today. We do call this Leo. We do call this Leo, Leo, like Leo, but the star sign. But this is today. This is today. So, for example, if we do say tuko na darasa la Swahili leo, it means we have a Swahili class today. If it means that, if you do say ninalala mapema leo, that means I'm gonna sleep early today. And when you talk about Leo, it's not Leo, it's Leo, Leo, it's Leo. Leo means today, today, today. And for example, if you do say nitapatana naye leo, which is I will meet them today. Leo means today. But for tomorrow, we have learned that you do say kesho. And for yesterday, we do say jana. Jana. So that now puts you in a space where you can know about time and what people get to talk about. When you're making plans, we do have today, we do have yesterday, and we do have tomorrow, and that is what you do say. Another thing that you realize is mwezi is a month, mwezi is a month, mwezi is a month, mwezi is a month. So if you say mwezi wa pili, that will be the second month, If you say mwezi wa tatu, that will be the third month. If you do say mwezi wa nne, that will be the fourth month, and so on and so forth. We shall talk about numbers, and we shall talk about figures, so that we are able to learn about the numbers and also the figures. But it is also very, very important to just know that for the days of the week, the way we refer to them is, for example, for Saturday, we do say, let's start with Sunday. For Sunday, we do say Jumapili. Actually, we can start with Saturday. For Saturday, we say Jumamosi. Jumamosi is for Saturday. And then let me just put it down. Jumamosi is for Saturday, is like the first day for Saturday. If you're talking about the second day, that would be Sunday. You would say Jumapili, according to the Swahili. Jumapili, that would be Sunday. And if you're talking about the third day, that would be Monday. So therefore, you would say Jumatatu for Monday. And if you're talking about Tuesday, that would be the fourth day. So you would say Jumanne for Tuesday. And then for Wednesday, you would say Jumatatu. For Wednesday, you'd actually say Jumatano for Wednesday. Which will be the fifth day. That would be the fifth day, Jumatano, Wednesday. And then for Thursday, we refer to that as Alhamisi. So you would say Alhamisi ya leo. That would be Alhamisi ya leo. If you do say Alhamisi ya leo, it will be Thursday, like on a Thursday. So asubuhi ya leo will be that would be Alhamisi will be on a Thursday. Let me just put it down. Alhamisi, that will be on a Thursday. And if you're talking about a Friday, you do say Ijumaa ya leo. Ijumaa is for Friday. Ijumaa is for Friday. And that is simply how you refer to those particular days. But when it comes to the time of the day, if you're talking about morning, if you say this morning, then you would say asubuhi ya leo. Asubuhi. That would be for morning. So if someone was to ask, habari ya asubuhi. If someone was to ask, for example, Spikes, habari ya asubuhi. That would be hello, Spikes. How is your morning? Habari ya asubuhi. How is your morning? Habari ya asubuhi. How is your morning? So we'd actually say Jambo Spikes. That would be hello, Spikes. Jambo Spikes. Habari ya asubuhi. Habari ya asubuhi. So that would be understood to be hello, Spikes. How is your morning? And I would respond and say, asubuhi yangu ipo salama. My morning is wonderful. My morning is well. My morning is okay. So it would be asubuhi yangu ipo salama or iko salama. That would be how you'd respond. Or I might respond. If someone wants to ask me, Jambo Spikes, habari ya asubuhi. That would be hello Spikes. How is your morning? I can respond and say salama, which is well. I can respond and say nzuri, which is good. I can respond and say nzema for for okay. I can respond and say njema. So those three ways, salama, salama, these are the responses. Salama, all, njema, all, nzuri. Nzuri means good, or nzuri means good. And therefore, those are the ways in which you can respond, and let people know that you are doing okay, and it's not even difficult. It's very, very easy. 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 And therefore, if you're trying to learn this beautiful language, I always do urge anyone and everyone, please make sure that you are learning it with a friend. Please make sure that you are learning it with a friend. It's very, very important. It's very, very important that you do so. And a friend will help you keep, how can I say, you would have more, just to keep you on track. I think that is the word I'm looking for. You will be able to be more on track. I'm just trying to share this link as we proceed. Let me share this link. It's a link I'm trying to share here. It's a link I'm trying to share. So, so welcome. I was just sharing a link with a friend there. So I was just saying that if you're trying to learn this language of Swahili, it's not difficult. There are many resources online. You can actually use the Duolingo app. We do have the Swahili dictionary, and we do have so many other previous videos that we have done teaching this beautiful language of Swahili. The 17th of July has been set apart as the International Day of Swahili. So every other year, we do get to highlight the importance of Swahili. And we do say, if you're trying to connect with your roots, it's beautiful that you learn at least one African language. I did have a music producer friend, and he was telling me that he always told his artists, or the people that he was working with, that if you're trying to be a professional artist and you're trying to make music, at least make sure you learn how to play at least one instrument. Because you cannot be an artist, you're not able to play any music instrument. These days everything is done by these softwares and everything. But it is also very, very important to at least learn how to play one instrument. So when it comes to matters connection, trying to unite our people globally, our African people, our Black people globally, it is important that you learn at least one African language. On the African continent, we do have over 1,500 languages. If you go to Nigeria, you might find about 150 languages. If you go to Cameroon, you'll find about 100 languages. If you go to Ethiopia, you will find about 81 languages. If you're in Kenya, you will find about 47 languages. If you go to a country like Rwanda, where we do have 3 different ethnic groups, you find the Hutu, you find the Tutsi, you find the Twa, you find 3 different languages for each subgroup. If you go to a country such as Zimbabwe, you find people speaking in Shona. You might find people speaking in Bemba. You might find people speaking in many different languages. But nonetheless, if you want to be united as an African people, whether it be on the continent, whether it be in the States, whether it be in Southern America, whether it be in whatever part of the world, in Europe, it is good that we aspire to have one African language that will be able to connect us. So if someone is saying hello to you, they would actually say, Jambo Spikes, habari ya asubuhi. That would be, hello Spikes, how are you this morning? How are you this morning? And you respond and you will say, Salama. Salama means well, and Salama means okay. You might respond and say Nzema, which also means okay. Or you might respond and say Nzuri. For example, if someone was to ask you habari yako, you might respond and say Nzuri, which is good, all well, all fine, all okay. And you might ask them, how about you? Because they're putting up their hands like this, and habari yako Spikes. You respond and say Salama or Nzuri. And you might ask them, yako je, yako or je, yako je. That would be yako is yours, yako is yours, yako je. That would be how about you, how about yours, how about you, how about you. Then if someone says habari yako Spikes and then you say salama sana, then you can go back and ask them yako je. That would be how about yours. And then they would respond and say salama pia. Salama pia. Pia means also. Pia means also. Also. So therefore, that would be I'm well. I'm good too. Or I'm well as I'm good. I'm okay as well. That is how they would respond. So they would say salama, salama pia, salama pia. That would be well too, well too, well too. And if someone is getting introduced, for example, you're saying habari yako, which is how are you, and then you're trying to introduce yourself, you would say Zina langu ni Spikes. Zina is name. Zina is name. Zina is a name. So if I did say Zina langu ni Spikes, Zina langu ni Spikes, that would be Zina langu, Zina langu, Zina langu ni Spikes. Jina langu ni Spikes. That would be my name is Spikes. My name is Spikes. And you might say nimetoka Nairobi. That would be I'm from Nairobi. Nimetoka Nairobi. That would be I'm from Nairobi. I'm from Nairobi. That is simply how you do say I'm from Nairobi. I'm from Nairobi. Jina langu ni Spikes. That would be my name is Spikes. Jina langu ni Spikes. My name is Spikes. And if you say nimetoka Nairobi, it simply means I'm from Nairobi. And then you want to ask someone, how about you? You simply say je, wewe. So you do say je. Wewe. You do say je, wewe. And when you do say je, wewe, it's simply understood to be how about you? because wewe means the second person, it means the second person. You're pointing to someone else. It means second person singular. Second person singular. Or you might say mimi ninaitwa Spikes. Mimi ninaitwa Spikes. Je, wewe, that would be my name is Spikes. And how about you? How about you? If you do have any question up to that particular point, please do ask how about you? Or je, wewe, that would be how about you? If you do have a question up to that particular point, please ask a question. Please ask a question. If not, we shall take a short break, a short music break. We shall enjoy another cover song. And this cover song is known as Amina by the one and only Sanaipei Tande, but this is a cover song. So let me play it, and we shall jump to this particular one as we continue learning our beautiful language of Swahili.
Amina, 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 Amina,
Amina, Amina.
Mama, wakuza chozi, siyatafakari vita vya juzi, sikupenda kwangu kuudhi mtu ujana au bagui. Dada wangu za chozi, sijitie lawama kwa usushi, kwani vita kati ya mandugu si ya Firauni. Wakati huniruhusu mimi kurekebisha zangu madhambi, kwa hivyo naomba siku hii nikumbukie mazuri. Ningetaka mcheke siku ya mwisho, usiwe mpweke, mi bado niko na mshukuru Mola kwa kuwepo. Nasema amina, 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 amina,
Amina, Amina, Amina.
Amina, 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 Amina. Oh, sina nafasi nyingine ya kuwa na wewe. Nasikitika, ninaumia, lakini nina shukrani moyoni ya kuwa miongoni mwa walonienzini, wakati huniruhusu kurekebisha yangu madhambi. Kwa hivyo naomba siku hii nikumbukie mazuri. Ningetaka mcheke siku ya mwisho, usiwe mpweke, mi bado namshukuru Mola kwa kuwepo. Nasema amina, 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 amina. Amina, 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 Amina.
Yes, that is a beautiful jam right there. And Amina simply means amen, as you can pick from that particular jam, or so be it, or let it be. And when it comes to Swahili, it's very, very important that you also check into Swahili music. You can also check into Swahili movies that have subtitles. It is very, very important that you check into that as well. So if you do have any question, regarding some of those particular things that we have learned, if you do have any question regarding any of those particular things that you have learned, please feel free to ask a question. Please feel free to ask a question, and I would be more than glad to respond to you and let you know what it is. But when you're introducing yourself, the most important thing is to say hi to someone, and then also you can tell them your name by jina langu ni. Jina langu ni, that is a phrase, jina langu ni, and then whatever your name is, you would say jina langu ni Jackson. For example, if your name is Jackson, you'd actually say jina langu ni Jackson. If you wanted to speak about, to introduce him, maybe your name is Helen, you'd actually say it's Jina langu ni Helen. And you would ask someone else and say, J, wewe, or wewe J, that would be how about you, how about you. And then they would tell you, Jina langu ni Mary Ann, or Jina langu ni Alex, or Jina langu, whichever their name would be, they would actually tell you the name. And then from that, you might say, I am pleased or I'm happy to meet you. Pleased to meet you. You would say, ninafurahi kukuona. Ninafurahi kukuona. That would be ninafurahi kukuona. Ninafurahi kukuona. Ninafurahi kukuona. That would be I'm pleased to see you, or I'm pleased to see you, or I am pleased to meet you. I am pleased to see you, or I am pleased to meet you. So, therefore, you would actually say, I am pleased to meet you. I am pleased to meet you. Pardon. I am pleased to meet you. If you tell someone I'm pleased to meet you, you'll actually say ninafurahi kukuona. And you might go on with the conversation. You might go on with the conversation and ask, how is your day going? How is your day going? How is your day going? Siku yako inaendelea vipi? Siku yako inaendelea vipi? Vipi is a way to ask how. Vipi is a way to ask how. So, how is your day going? Siku yako inaendelea vipi? And you can respond and say salama. You can respond and say salama, which is well. How is your day going? It's going well. You might say inaendelea salama. Inaendelea salama. Remember, when you learned about the 5 vowels in Swahili, we do say that you can use your palm like this to symbolize the 5 vowels in Swahili. You have the vowel A, E, O, U. Those are the 5 vowels in Swahili. The A, E, O, U. And we gave an example. We gave an example of the vowel A. We did say it can be used in the word endelea, which means to continue. So you might say siku yako inaendelea vipi? Siku yako inaendelea vipi? Then that would be, how is your day going? Someone might say endelea. That is one of the examples of the vowel A. And we also talked about the consonants. And for the consonants, we say that Swahili consonants are made up of all the letters of the English alphabet except for X and Q, because X and Q is not found in Swahili. And then you have to remove the other 5 vowels, which is A, E, O, and U. Those are the 5 vowels. So all the other letters of the English alphabet, they make up the Swahili consonants, apart from X and Q. Apart from X and Q. So that is how you get to understand the vowels and the consonants. And we did say every Swahili word is made up of syllables with alternating vowel sounds. Syllables with alternating vowel sounds. Any word in Swahili is made up of syllables with alternating vowel sounds. And therefore, if you're talking about maybe perhaps a word like kitabu. Kitabu is just a book. If you're talking about a book, if you're talking about you have a notebook, you would actually just say kitabu changu. The kitabu, I have always given this example. Kitabu, I have always given this example for a book. It has the key, the ta, and the bu, the key, the ta, and the bu. So those are 3 syllables. The key, the ta, and the bu. And those three syllables, they have alternating vowel sounds. So the ki has a vowel E, the ta has a vowel A, and the bu has the vowel U. So that is why you do realize, that let me just respond to this. Let me just respond to something as we proceed to learn the language, because at the end of the day, language is a point of a connection. So I'm just saying that any word in Swahili is made up of syllables with alternating vowel sounds. Syllables with alternating vowel sounds. And I've given you an example of the word kitabu. You would actually say ki, ta, bu. If you're talking about something like pesa, P-E-S-A, 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 P-E-S-A for money, So that would be pe and sa. So that would be pe and sa. That would be pe and sa. So that is a word with two vowels. Sorry, with two syllables. Two syllables, and these two syllables have alternating vowel sounds. They have alternating vowel sounds. They have alternating vowel sounds. So up to that particular point, if you do have a question, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask. I will be more than glad to respond, please. Up to that particular point, if you do have a question, I will be more than glad to respond. If you do have a question up to that particular point, please respond. Please ask. If you do have a question. If you do have a question up to that particular point, please, I will be more than glad to respond. If you have a question up to that particular point, please ask. Regarding maybe perhaps how you open up a conversation, or maybe perhaps how you ask for something, or maybe perhaps how you inquire about anything, I'll be more than glad to respond to you in that regard. I'll be more than glad to respond to you in that regard. I will be more than glad to respond to you in that regard. Because when you're learning Swahili, please try be active more than a passive learner. I would rather you be more of an active learner than a passive learner, because for passive learner, you might not really learn much. You might not really learn much. But for an active learner, it would be very, very easy for you. For an active learner, it would be very, very easy for you to ask questions. For an active learner, be an active learner, ask a question. Any question for me, I will be more than glad to respond. So as I wait for anyone that has a question, we shall go on another break. I'll listen to some more Swahili music, and then we shall be back as we wind up.
My love for you will forever stay the same. Nikiwa kando yako ama miles away, we'll be okay. And I promise that soon I'll be here to stay. We'll break down, 'cause it'll be some time before tushikane mikono. And I won't see you often, na sio kupenda kwangu ni mipango ya Mungu. But I promise that soon I'll be here to stay. If it's your love, I'm perfect to wait. Nitangoja na sitachoka, no matter where you are. 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 Nitangoja na sitachoka. Nitakungoja wewe, sitachoka mama, yeah. Nitakungoja wewe. Imenza.
That is a jam once again by Imenza. And I would actually say that Swahili music is actually very, very nice, and it's very melodious, very, very nice, very, very melodious, and also very, very easy to just vibe to, very, very easy to listen to, very, very easy to vibe to. And in case you would love to learn more of Swahili, and maybe perhaps over the weekend you're not normally available, we can still schedule, we could still schedule a Swahili class, maybe perhaps in a timing that works for you. And you would actually do that. You can reach me and let me know if you'd be interested in learning Swahili in a time that actually works for you. So you can write to me, blackwoodfireafrica@gmail.com, and I would be more than glad to maybe perhaps see how we can organize or schedule a class maybe for you sometime. Maybe perhaps that the weekend doesn't work for you. Maybe perhaps you were very, very busy over the weekend. Maybe perhaps you wanted a time that suits or fits your schedule. We can still engage in that, and maybe perhaps you would see what better time we would be able to have these classes for you. Nonetheless, thank you so much for having been with us in our class for today. We could proceed in case anyone has a question. For a question, we do say swali. Swali is for a question. So therefore, we do say, je uko na swali? Do you have a question? And nitakupa jibu. Nitakupa means I will give you. So I will give you. So for example, if someone wants to say nitakupa jibu, that will be I'll give you an answer. I will give you an answer. If you do have a question, I will give you an answer. If you do have a question, I will give you an answer. Nitakupa jibu. If someone says nitakupa chakula, it means I'll give you food. If someone says nitakupa pesa, it means I will give you money. If someone says nitakupa whatever they do say after that, it means that they'll give you exactly that. They will give you exactly that. And therefore, it is not very difficult. If someone says ninaenda, it means I am going. Enda is a verb. It means to go. Rudi is a verb as well. It means to return or come back. And if you're talking about something like food, you do say ninakula. Kula is Kula for eat. Kula is Kula for eat. So therefore, that would be ninakula chakula is I am eating some food. I am eating some food. If someone says nitakula chakula, nitakula chakula, it is in the future, and therefore they mean I will eat. It means I will eat some food. I will eat some food. And therefore, it's not even difficult. It's not even difficult. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. And therefore, you are able to just express yourself. When it comes to drinking, if you're talking about drinking something, you do say kunywa. You do say kunywa. So therefore, you would say ninakunywa maji. Ninakunywa maji. That would be for I am drinking water. I am drinking water. And if you talk about ninakunywa uji, ninakunywa uji, that would be I am drinking porridge. I am drinking some porridge. If you say ninakunywa kahawa, then that would be I'm drinking coffee. I am drinking coffee. If you do say ninakunywa chai, if you do say ninakunywa chai, that would be I am drinking tea. I am taking some tea. I am taking some tea. And if you're talking about maybe perhaps you're full, you've taken some drinks, you've eaten some food, then you would actually say ni meshiba. Ni meshiba. That is a phrase for I am full. I am full. I am full. Ni meshiba. Ni meshiba. Ni meshiba simply means I am full. Ni meshiba. It means I am full. Nimeshiba simply means I am full. Nimeshiba simply means I am full. So if anyone maybe perhaps was offering some food and maybe perhaps you felt that your stomach, you're full, therefore you would actually say I am full. And you might say I feel. If you're talking about I feel, you would say ninahisi, which is I feel. Therefore, you would say ninahisi nimeshiba. Ninahisi nimeshiba would simply means I feel that I'm full. I feel that my stomach is full already. So therefore, that would be one way in which you express that you feel that you are full. If you want to talk about I feel hungry, you would say ninahisi njaa. Ninahisi njaa. So that would be I feel hungry. I feel hungry. If you wanted to say that you feel tired, you'd say ninahisi uchovu, ninahisi uchovu. That would be I feel tired. Uchovu is that fatigue or tiredness, and therefore that is simply how you would put it. It's not difficult. Swahili is very, very easy. If you just commit your time, then it becomes very, very easy for you. So I always do say, what you need to do is just to commit your time. That is all you need to do. What you need to do is to commit your time. Put in some effort, commit your time, and that is eventually you will be able to become proficient in this language of Swahili. But then again, you can even make some small baby steps. And once you do, you can be able to just even impress yourself. You can really, really impress yourself. All you need to do is have that effort, and once you do have some effort, then you would be able to even impress yourself with your understanding of this beautiful language and how well you are able to communicate in it within maybe a short period. I think even maybe within about 3 or so months, you'll be able to have made important steps in regards to being able to communicate with through this beautiful language of Swahili. If there is any question, I would be glad to respond to those questions. If there are any questions, I would be glad to respond to those questions. In case you'd like to get a hold of me, as I just told you, you can write to me at blackwifiafrica@gmail.com, and I will be more than glad to respond to you in regards to the language. The language is spoken in Tanzania. If at all you do purpose to aspire to make a tour and visit Tanzania, then you'd actually be very, very much comfortable, being able to understand what's going on and be able to communicate in basic Swahili. If you're planning to tour visit Kenya sometime, the language is also widely spoken in Kenya. The language is widely spoken in Uganda as well. And the language is also spoken in Rwanda, Burundi, and the DRC Congo, as well as Zambia. In Zambia, especially the northern parts of Zambia, you'll find so many Swahili speakers with about 200 million speakers. Swahili is one of the languages that you ought to really, really just put in time to just understand. For me, there's so many languages in the continent, but I would urge you to just put in effort. Please put in some effort and put in effort to learn the beautiful language of this beautiful language of Swahili. We're almost running up, unless maybe you could find you one more jam, because you've been jamming to these particular songs. So let me just find you one jam. We shall jam to this particular one as you wind up, and we shall wind up with this particular one. Let me know if there's any feedback. Let me know. You can drop your comments on here. But as we wind up, let me play you this jam. Once again, it's a cover of a song by Bien, but it's done by Minza. And I think she's jamming, and she has a wonderful vibe. She's jamming.
Don't fight the feeling. When you find the one you love, wake on my night. Don't fight a feeling. When you find something you love, wake on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. When you find something you love, wake on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. I ain't got no time, so I'm enjoying today. So much to celebrate, and more blessings on the way. They don't kill my vibe. I found my peaceful place. This moment is divine. Don't fight the feeling. When you find someone you love, wake on my night. Don't fight a feeling. When you find something you love, wake on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. When you find something you love, wake on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night. They'll knock on my night.
Yes, that is a vibe. Also, once again, by Minza, and I think she is jamming. If you do get to ask me, what it means is that if you do find something that you love or something that you connect with, please, by all means, you can pursue it. And because when it comes to the pursuit of happiness, I always do say that everyone has to find their own path. No one will actually tell you that this is exactly where happiness is or what happiness looks like. But on that particular song, it's actually a Swahili song. It's called Kwama, and Kwama means like getting stuck to, getting stuck with. If someone is talking about getting stuck with their music, for example, that is a song done by Bien, talking about getting stuck with their music. So wamekwama nayo. Nayo means it. Nayo means it. But naye, let me just put this, nayo means it. Nayo means it. So, for example, if someone says, nimekuja nayo, maybe it's a phone. Someone told you, please bring me my other phone. I have forgotten it at home. And then they came up and said, nimekuja nayo. Nayo means it. I have come with it. I've come with it. I've brought it along. I've come with it. But if you talk about naye, naye, N-A-N-A-Y-E, naye, N-A-Y-E, we do say with, it means him or her, it means him or her, it means him or her. So for example, if you to say nimekuja naye, you're saying that I've come with him or her. I've come with him or her. One very mystical thing, I would call it mystical for lack of a better word, is that Swahili is not gender specific. Swahili is not gender specific. If, for example, you're talking about I have seen him, someone was asking you, have you seen my brother? You're walking along the way and they walk, they greet you, and they ask you, hey Spikes, umemwona ndugu yangu? That would be, have you seen my brother? I would respond and say nimemwona, and you wouldn't really know whether it means I have seen him or her. Nimemwona, I've seen him or her. So Swahili in a way is not gender specific for some reason. I do not know. If someone says he wants some water, and someone on the left came up and said she wants some water, and I'm told to interpret that, I would simply say anataka maji kidogo. But when you do say anataka, would mean either he or she. Anataka maji, it would either mean he or she. But if you want to be very specific, you might say mvulana anataka maji, because now mvulana is for young, is for boy. All mwanamke is for a woman. All mwanaume, that is, you'd have to put those words. For example, mwanamke is for a woman, and then mwanaume is for man. The same thing. Mwanaume is for a man. So you might say yule mwanamke alikuwa hapa. That would be that woman was here. Or you might say yule mwanaume alikuwa hapa. That would be for that man was here. So unless you put now those particular words, the other part of the sentence, you would not really know whether you're talking about a man or a woman. I think in some way, maybe perhaps it might not be particularly so, but maybe perhaps they did see equality. A man and a woman were the same, not really quite equal, but were complementary, and therefore there was no need to just maybe have those markers for he or she in a way in making up sentences. But I don't know, that is just my way. Maybe there was an essence of just people complementing each other or being equal, the man and the woman. I'm not sure. I would just say it in that particular way. But nonetheless, that is my opinion. KW Don, peace to you. KW Don, I appreciate you not changing your names. Sometimes people on the platform, or YouTube, or Instagram, or Facebook, or whatever other social media, there are people who decide that they will be changing their name every other year or every other now and then. So you might not know whether it's still KW Don, but KW Don has been with us since forever. We never take your company for granted. We appreciate you. And also for having that character. Character does not change. For example, if you're talking about A, B, C, D, it does not change. A is A today. A character 1 is 1 today. But sometimes you do find people, without character, sometimes they would change their names. Someone might be KW Don today, tomorrow they are SAB 40, and you never know. But thank you so much for KW Don for not switching up those particular names. It's good because I'm able to identify that you are with us, and I appreciate you so much for being with us. We are actually winding up. And in case you want to reach out for anything, any clarification, you can feel free to write to me, blackcoatfireafrica@gmail.com. There was a joke I remembered by KW Don. I don't know if you still if you're still with us on the live, but there was a time that Keith was actually ranting. And I was saying that one of his employees always turns up to work late, and sometimes doesn't turn up to work. And That employee happened to be Kami. I don't know, KW, don't know if you still remember Kami. So Kami turned up for work a couple of times, turned up for work late a couple of times. And Kid came up on the show ranting, hey, Kid, Kami is late and sometimes he hasn't showed up for a particular show. If she was working in the States for someone else or for whatever, she would have already been fired and blah blah blah. That was Keith was actually fussing about it and just ranting or something like that. KW don't. I can't remember. There was something you actually said to that effect, which was actually very very funny. I have never forgotten that particular one. But nonetheless, thank you so much for being with us. That was way back. I think when Kami used to work was way back in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. But you are a real one, a day one, and we appreciate you so much. We never take your company for granted. If you have any question regarding our classes for Swahili, please ask. Tomorrow we shall also pick up the same, and we shall continue learning. We do say that I remember Kami. Is she married a child? Yes, that was way back in 2020. So Kid came on ranting on the show. Oh, Kami was late, blah blah blah, this and that. She would have already been fired somewhere else, and blah 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 blah. And I think you were the only one in defense of Kami. I think she was, working out some things. But anyway, I haven't forgotten that we appreciate you and being part of the Black Hot Far family. There's so many other people since 2020. There's so many other people that have come up on the platform. They have left. We have had Katie. I think Katie came up in 2021 as well. She came up, joined the platform, the Black Hot Far Network. I think she worked until 2024, 2023. I don't know. Katie was on here as well. Who else was on the network? We've had a brother called Lagzon, who I worked with in 2019, 2018. I actually attended a funeral of Laxon's mom about 2 weeks ago. But Laxon is still doing whatever he has to do, some other work. But nonetheless, for you being part of the Black Hot Far family, we never take your company for granted. Please make sure to check out the official network website. It's www.blackhotfarnetwork.com. You can create a profile on there as well. There's a social media platform on our website, and you can be able to network and connect with the rest of the family. KW Don, I am not sure whether you're with us way back in 2019. There was a brother. His name was Gamari. Gamari was very, very active, and he never missed the shows with Keith. I'm not sure whether you know of the brother, but there was also another joke. Sometimes I remember these jokes from people who are actually very active on the chat. There was a brother known as Gamari, KW Don. I don't know if you were with us way back, around maybe 2018, 2019. There was a brother called Gamari. And Keith was talking about reparations. And there was this push. There was this very, very big agenda. Back then, I think there was a time, I don't know what had happened, and it sparked this conversation about reparations, reparations for slavery and all those years of slavery. And the brother Gamari, it was actually both on the chat, both on the YouTube and also on the network chat. And I think I would still find some of those particular chats from way back. But Gamari, and also there was a recent summit. There was a summit about 2 weeks ago, which was called the CARICOM Summit. This was the Africa and Caribbean Summit, and the theme was reparations. And when I came across this particular conference and the summit that was going on in Addis Ababa at the African Union headquarters, I remember that comment by the brother Gamari. Gamari was with us in about 2018, 2019. But Gamari was saying, even if reparations was in the form of a shit bucket, the white man would still not give it to you. The white man will still not give it to you, because reparations is a matter of power. Because if at all you told me that I owe you reparations, and there are no consequences. If I do not pay you, there are no consequences. There is nothing you would actually do about it. Then it means I'm not going to pay you. So if at all, even if Gambari was saying that even if reparations was just a shit bucket, a bucket full of shit, the white man will still not give it to you because it is a matter of power. If there are no consequences, then why would I be giving you reparations? I stole from you so much billions. You're worth so much trillions in terms of reparations, and there are no consequences for not paying that. Then why would I bother paying you, giving you your reparations? So when this conference came about, and let me see if I can share this with you. The CARICOM summit reparations. Let me see if I get reparations. Let me see if I get these, because every other time you do find, this is what it's been. This is what. Let me share just a bit of a video from last week. Was it last week? Yes, from last week. You do realize that, it's a matter of power. Let me share this video. I always do remember some of these.
The African Union Commission signed on the 24th of September 2024 a memorandum of understanding with the CARICOM Secretariat. So the AU Commission on one side, the CARICOM Secretariat on one side, on upscaling the engagement with people of African descent. And I'm quoting the exact title of the MOU. The first meeting we held, and my dear colleague Angela Odaya and I were there in the meeting with Assistant Secretary General of the CARICOM, Madame Solomon, was I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we have identified 3 clusters of engagement with the Caribbean community: the culture cluster, the finance and investment cluster, and the people-to-people cluster. And we will be assigning focal points from CARICOM Secretariat, from African Union Commission. So I can assure you that we have started the journey. Is that a journey that is, short? No, it is long-term. It's a long life commitment. So we will be building step by step, and we count on.
Basically, the agenda for that CARICOM, reparations demand without consequences is fatal. Blacks in Africa are not willing to shed blood to get them. Exactly. There was that CARICOM summit, which brings now together the Caribbean and the African, and that was a very, very powerful connection, because for the Black Wildfire Network, I also believe strongly in making that connection for our people globally, whether be it in the Caribbean, whether be it in the US, whether be it in Canada, whether be it in Southern America, wherever. But when it comes to the matter of reparations, it's very, very important. Sometimes people have asked about what is the number that we can put on reparations, or how much we are owed. It's in the trillions. But then again, are there consequences for not paying these reparations? And does the African or the Black person have power? We are not yet there. We have not yielded power. And when it comes to even the interest, does the Black man or the Black woman have an interest to yield power, to have power just like these other, I would actually say, like the Jews have it, or like other groups have it? Do we have that interest in power? Sometimes you do find people being caught up in so many things. On the African continent, people are so much in their survival mode, such that even the element of power is not in their focus. But then again, yes, without consequences, then you can sing, you can dance all day, you can talk about this is what is owed to us. But then again, if we are not talking about consequences, what are the consequences of not paying this? What happens? And there is a book that was actually given, and this was a book which is known as a Black Power. And this book defines power. Defines power as the ability, the blueprint for Black Power. And this is a book. By Dr. Amos Wilson. It talks about the issue of the issue of power. So you do have the ability. He describes it. Dr. Amos Wilson describes it as the ability to cause or to prevent change. So is there that ability with us as an African people to cause or to prevent change? So once again, if there is not that element of power, getting back power, therefore you can sing all day about, oh, we want the reparations, or the Caribbean and the African, they're coming together, they are demanding reparations. What are the consequences? If there are no consequences, then you can dance all day, you can sing all day, you can do whatever you want all day, but if there are no consequences, then we are not getting anywhere. And then when it comes to consequences, there has to be a united front. You cannot say we want our reparations as this and that. There has to be a united front, and there has to be a voice. The African Union, sadly, is like a barking dog, and this barking dog, for me, I do find a barking dog without teeth it does not prove to be any threat. Your barking dog, even for the funding, most of the African Union funding, you find it to be done by the European Union and also other different bodies which are not African bodies, and also the Chinese, whomever else, having a big influence on these African Union. Nonetheless, I would still say we shall continue to strive on for these compensation and reparations, whether be it for slavery in the US for Black people, whether be it for colonization on the African continent and other different groups, and for wrongs done to the Black man and woman. But nonetheless, we have to still strive for Black power, because with power, then you do have the ability to cause or to prevent change. And with that ability to cause or prevent change, it means that there are consequences. But without consequences, then we are just, it's an exercise in fertility. It's an exercise in fertility. Nonetheless, this has been the Swahili class. Thank you so much for being with us. We started a bit early, and we do purpose to have that connection with the roots by learning this language, because the language can be able to get us communicating and reconnecting, and that is also a path towards Black power. Being able to reconnect, that is also another path towards Black power. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of your weekend. Tomorrow we shall catch up again right here on the Black Watchfire Network Swahili classes for the weekend, and we shall continue learning this beautiful language of Swahili. For now, it is me, your homeboy Spike, signing out. Till next time, much peace and love. Kwaheri ya kuonana. That is a simply goodbye. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. Asanteni na kwaheri ya kuonana.
Show up, nikiomba. I've been on a tough road for so long, tatani ni over. Mama